What was that? Okay, just wait for it. Watching Fox.
Let's talk about one of the creepiest moments in internet history, the Canal 5 Twitter incident.
Do you have any thoughts about the lady that the Prince of Wales should marry?
Welcome back to the channel. Here we go.
Sightings of these ships became more frequent, not only off the coast of Somalia, but throughout East Africa. Similarly, some British researchers became interested in this phenomenon of resurfacing vessels that should have remained entirely submerged. Upon studying them, they realized that the ships were infested with a type of extremely aggressive marine fungus, which primarily fed on steel, plastic, and light metals, giving the ships their strange appearance. However, what ultimately caught the researchers' attention was that as the ship was being consumed by these organisms, strange structures resembling large jaws formed, even containing bone material similar to that of mammals. There were repeated instances of pointed structures with the exact composition of incredibly hard teeth. It was no surprise that residents of Somalia and nearby countries began spreading legends about ships coming to life, fueled by the terrifying pareidolia created by these formations, where it seemed evident that the vessels formed humanoid faces both inside and on their exteriors.
A strange weather radar anomaly in Mexico is going viral. When a similar one went viral in 2020, there were rumors of a satanic ritual, dismembered bodies found in the same location. Well, let's clear that up. This is a radar test. You don't have to believe me. 2 meteorologists confirmed the same thing back in 2020. Radio waves do strange things. That's why I love them so much. This is a famous one. The buzzer. A Russian station that has emitted a buzz for decades. It's on 4.625 megahertz. It doesn't mean to say there's not something untoward I can't tell you about. As a ham radio operator, I know how sensitive equipment is to interference. I've shut down the power in my whole house. What is causing this RF? I wonder, with all the terrible weather going on in the world, could there be something impairing weather radar, perhaps stopping us from hearing the alerts as soon as we could? Well, sure enough, what I discovered is that Wi-Fi, in fact, impairs weather radar. This Italian study really raised the alarm that weather radar systems were sharing the same frequencies as Wi-Fi. Many studies have since come out, driving home the point that lives are being put at risk by impaired weather radar. Here's a few screen grabs if you want to pause for some specs. So it seems when we see these strange radar anomalies, it's in fact our dependency upon Wi-Fi and our devices and our craving for instant information that could be at the root of the problem. I don't know what the solution is, but awareness is a start. See you in the comments. Take care.
Did you know there might be a crashed UFO underwater off the coast of Sweden? It's called the Baltic Sea Anomaly, and in 2011 explorers discovered this bizarre object on the seafloor. When they returned to study it more, their equipment strangely stopped working when they got within 650 feet of it, and it would turn back on again when they backed off. It's around 200 feet wide and 26 feet tall, and it appears like it could be man-made. Its circular shape and angular patterns on it has led many to believe that it could be an alien spaceship. However, most scientists agree that it's probably just a glacial deposit. But what do you think it is? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Hey, the real Pharaoh's curse is that we haven't built a pyramid bigger than Giza yet. I mean, just look at it. This thing is massive and it's over 4,000 years old. Oh, but we do have a pyramid bigger than that and nobody's talking about it. The Great Pyramid of Giza is peanuts against the buried Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia, and you will not believe what they found there. In 2005, archaeologist Dr. Samir Osmanagic realized, hey, this hill in the small Bosnian city of Visoko is oddly shaped like a pyramid. And shaped like a pyramid was an understatement. This hill has virtually every characteristic of a real pyramid, and we continue to ignore it. To start, it has 4 triangular sides. That's it, pyramid confirmed, we're done. Joking, but it's got even grade slopes and corners that connect perfectly under the foliage, along with an apex at the very top, the exact shape of a pyramid, but oh, it don't end there, Johnny boy. It's also perfectly aligned to the cardinal directions, north, east, south, and west, much like Giza. In fact, this one is even more aligned to true north than Giza, being only 1/300th of a degree off from perfect north, whereas Giza is 2/60ths of a degree off. They even took EMF, electromagnetic frequency readers, to the top and saw readings of 60 times more of what is normally expected on Earth. Another phenomenon that tends to occur at the pyramids, and the reason why is so mind-baffling that we'll have to save that for a future video. This hill was aptly named the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, the first pyramid of its kind in Europe, taller than the Great Pyramid of Giza and even bigger than the biggest pyramid of the world, Cholula in Mexico, with 4 other smaller hills around it that are also suspected to be pyramids or some other structures, as is usually the case at these ancient sites. Sure, it might just look like a hill covered in trees, but have a look at what the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, Mexico looked like before it was excavated and after. Same with Machu Picchu and after, and Chichen Itza and after. Any ancient site that isn't in a desert is typically covered with overgrowth, and the Bosnian pyramid is looking a lot like that before stage. And just have a look at these drone shots and tell me these formations look natural to you. So Dr. Osmanagic began the excavations, and now get this, radiocarbon analysis taken from the rocks hidden beneath the vegetation revealed that this pyramid would be over 35,000 years old, the oldest pyramid in the world by a long shot, over 30,000 years older than Giza, during a time in which traditional history claims only tribes and cavemen incapable of erecting such monuments roamed the earth, far before any civilizations began to form, or so we think. For reference, here's a timeline of all major ancient civilizations and structures built around the world. And here is where the Bosnian pyramid would stand in that timeline. Excavations also revealed huge blocks of 7 tons each, stacked with geopolymer binding, which is an ancient type of cement, and perfect placement, along with perfectly landscaped terraces and other obvious architectural design, but oh no, these are all natural. Note that this was all uncovered up to a meter underground, as would be expected of a pyramid over 35,000 years old. And of course, the archaeological gatekeepers of the world insisted this is just coincidental, with some even going as far as saying Dr. Osmanagic purposely placed these carved stones here to deceive the public. And famed Egyptologist Zahi Hawass, who oversees most of the Egyptian pyramid investigations, even petitioning the Bosnian government to stop these excavations. Within hours of this international discovery, the story is swept under the rug and labeled a hoax. Well, over 50 archaeologists around the world remained optimistic and actually joined Osmanagic's work in Bosnia, with virtually every single one of them who actually saw it in person confirming that nature could not have formed these hills. Further studies revealing an entire underground tunnel system in the area, the longest subterranean complex of any pyramid in the world. Inside these tunnels, large stone blocks were found that clearly seemed to be artificially created and placed. Other artifacts like this giant round stone that no one can explain, and a whole bunch of other smaller ancient trinkets, statues, and even what appears to be a map carved into stone, were all found around the Bosnian Valley of Pyramids, all dismissed as irrelevant or flat out ignored by mainstream archaeology. Even the peak of the Sun Pyramid forms a perfect triangle with the peaks of the nearby hills, dubbed the Pyramids of the Moon and the Dragon. Another crazy coincidence, right? After much pushback, the government actually did grant Osmanagic the right to continue excavations, but with no official funding, the entire project depends on donations and volunteer work. These excavations are still going on, but after tourism to Bosnia slowed down in the last couple of years, progress on these pyramids have as well. As with anything, you could probably rationalize a completely valid reason for each of these discoveries, and maybe it really is somehow just a hill. So you think we're tweaking on this one, or are we onto something? Who's ready to get digging?
Since ancient times, India is called the land of mysteries, one of which is mystery. This hanging pillar, is situated in Virbhadra Temple, which is also known as the Temple of Pillars in the Anantapur district of Andhra Pradesh. There are total 70 pillars here, but the main thing is, one of these pillars is such that it does not touch the ground and mysteriously hangs half an inch above the air. Locals believe that if they take out cloth from under this pillar, there will be prosperity in their life. But Britishers called their famous engineer Hamilton in 1902 to solve this mystery. As soon as Hamilton put an iron rod under it to move the pillar, all the pillars started moving along with it. The chances of collapse of the temple increased, due to which he had to stop his investigation on an immediate basis. Visually, this pillar is supporting the temple, but how can the temple collapse by removing it? No one has the answer. The entire temple rests on this pillar, even though it does not rest on the ground. Today's modern architect-engineer does not have the answer to this also. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe.
You know what? After discovering this video of this guy who went inside of a cave that looks exactly like a giant esophagus, I am convinced that there were giant mountain-sized humanoids that used to live in the past. I mean, look at this thing. It looks exactly like the inside of our throats. I'll give you more evidence in this video, but I mean, look at this. There are so many coincidences where we see what looks like giant human body parts in nature. Like, what does that look like to you? Now check this out. This is another cave. What do you guys think this looks like? To me, it looks like human musculature. And this is where Himalayan pink salt comes from. So what you're putting on your human meat hot dog is the remains of a giant human, which is basically blood rocks. Let me know what you guys think. Is this fact or is it fiction?
Can we talk about the crazy symbolism in Fallout for 1 minute? First off, if you're not aware, Fallout is a hit TV show from Amazon Prime. It's based on a video game, and it's about a post-apocalyptic world. It's basically an alternate timeline if nuclear war happened during the 1950s, during the height of the Cold War. But I couldn't help but think while watching the show, this isn't an alternate timeline. This is our current timeline. This story is based on real events. Basically, the reset after the mud flood. First off, there's evidence all over this realm that this world experienced an apocalypse of mud and fire in our not so distant past. Buried buildings, buried statues, buried railroad tracks, melted buildings. Our landscapes are literally scarred with electrical patterns. Something really bad happened in this place, and the history books do not talk about it. Now let's get to that symbolism. In this show, the elites ride out this apocalypse in underground bunkers called vaults. And that leads us to our main protagonist, Lucy. Lucy, who escapes her vault. Vault number 33, that is. And the show basically follows Lucy's journey on the upside of the earth. Obvious symbolism, Lucy equals Lucifer. Vault 33, 33 levels in Freemasonry. What's interesting about this show is the timing. In the 1950s, something went really bad, and the majority of the show takes place 200 years later, which kind of correlates perfectly with the mud flood idea. Most mud flood theorists believe something really bad happened around 200-ish years ago. And let's get back to that Lucy symbolism. Lucy, statue of Lucifer from the 1860s. Chain around his ankle. Here's another statue from the 1860s. The Statue of Liberty, well, also with the chain around her ankle. Lucy, loosed. Lucy escapes her vault. Lucy escapes the pit from inside the earth. Satan's little season after the Great Reset. Now the secondary storyline in this show follows Maximus, who's trying to join a brotherhood of knights who are looking for old world relics. Okay, a mystic order of knights looking for relics? Did these guys immediately pop into your mind? Knights Templar, Freemasons, Rosicrucians? Yeah, it makes sense, right? But this particular relic they're looking for in this show is one that has to do with free energy. And whoever finds this relic can rule the wastelands. Well, it just so happens in the mud flood theory that the old world buildings literally had technology that was free energy. They could tap into the ether. They could use the Earth's toroidal field to create free energy. Now, if this energy did exist, whoever had it could rule the world. Or somebody could rule the world by hiding from us and turning the energy into something they could monetize. Maybe a petrol economy. Maybe. And we should probably talk about the symbolism in the name of Fallout. First off, there's an obvious lightning bolt. Luke 10:18. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Lucy, Lucifer, Satan. Got it? Then I went to the gematria calculator and I plugged in Fallout. I got 397. 397, so nothing, right? Well, not so fast. You know what other words and phrases are connected with 397? Well, Freemasons won. And also, death to America. Coincidence? Well, I'm not the kind of guy who really believes in coincidences. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. Anyways, guys, have you seen this show? Is this show talking about a post-mud flood world where Satan was loosed out of the pit? What are your thoughts? Am I close?
In 1980, a Japanese journalist filmed an iPhone, specifically an iPhone 13, and this video is resurfacing on the internet. It is creating an incredible buzz. So in fact, this show was filmed in 1980, and it was around Hiroshima. You know that in Hiroshima there was a bomb in 1945. The entire city was deserted, obviously, because of the radiation. And actually, the show is about them going back to the place to see all the abandoned houses, the objects that were there, etc. And actually, at the time, the guy thinks it's a mirror because theoretically the iPhone did not exist in 1980. And yet they did indeed find an iPhone 13. And that's the most worrying part, that no one can explain how in 1980 the journalist could have found an iPhone. And the guy is puzzled by the thing because he doesn't know what it is. He really thinks it's a mirror, so who can explain this glitch in the Matrix, please?
We are in a state of emergency right now, and people better wake the hell up to what's happening. Get ready for the mother of all false flag attacks.
We begin with the global computer crisis. The worst may be over, but the outage is still causing problems.
In the past few hours, we've gotten some really disturbing news about what's coming to the people of the United States and our infrastructure that we rely on every day to live our lives. They will use you like pawns, so don't fall for it. So a couple of big stories that we're tracking today. All of this thanks to cybersecurity company CrowdStrike pushing a simple software update, as they say. It backfired, brought down the United States banking industry, the airline industry, e-commerce, you name it. Oh, and by the way, don't call 911 because there are nationwide outages of 911 services all across the U.S. When the CrowdStrike CEO was asked about it, he looked like he had a heart attack on live television. Either that or he was trying to pass a kidney stone at the time. Watch.
Air travel, credit card payment systems, banks, broadcasts, street lights, 911, emergency, around the globe. Why is there not some kind of redundancy or some sort of backup? How is it that one single software bug can have such a profound and immediate impact?
Well, when you look at the complexity of cybersecurity, you're always trying to stay one step ahead of the adversaries. Excuse me. Man, just 1 second, please.
Oh yeah, take a drink of water.
Yeah, that didn't go well. But this CrowdStrike story doesn't add up at all. Remember, CrowdStrike is the company that made up the fake Russiagate story. CrowdStrike was working for the Hillary Clinton campaign. And of course, a few hours ago, President Biden officially said he's not running for re-election, handing the torch over to Kamala Harris. And yet rumors are swirling this morning that Hillary Clinton will be the nominee at the Democratic National Convention. A coincidence?
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
And as journalist Aaron Mate reminds us, the FBI relied on CrowdStrike to independently investigate the hacked DNC servers. So I don't trust a damn thing that comes out of their mouths, and why should you? So when they tell us that a software update caused everything to collapse, don't believe them. Try going to your local bank ATM and take money out. Good luck. Chances are you won't be able to. I thought something was wrong with my ATM card yesterday. I tried 3 times at multiple locations, put my PIN in repeatedly. It kept spitting my card out. Like I was back in college, broke, sorry, no money. Then a woman trying to do the same thing in the other lane said, "The bank's down," she shouted. Oh, the bank is down. Wait. What the hell did she just say? The bank is down? I can't get American paper currency right now? Oh, right. Most of America's infrastructure is down. That makes sense. Early voting was just starting in the battleground state of Arizona. Sorry, we have to close our electronic voting machines. You can't vote because America is down right now. Come back another time. Meanwhile, don't call 911 because 911 services are also reportedly down in areas all over the country. Last week on our show, we just so happened to be covering how the 911 grid is collapsing across the United States. Journalist Whitney Webb explained how this is intentional, and our 911 services are now being outsourced to Israel.
And actually, there's another company that Peter Thiel funded that's involved with developing this pre-crime system in the United States by actually taking over county by county the nation's 911 emergency call systems. This is an Israeli founded company called Carbine 911. That was nominally headed for a long time by Ehud Barak, the former Israeli prime minister. Jeffrey Epstein funded it with $1 million. Allegedly, Leslie Wexner, his biggest patron, did as well.
This is a huge concern. I mean, as we head into this election, a lot of people saying, well, could we see some sort of, big national emergency? And now 911 networks are going down across the United States, as the USA Today reported this past week. Is this like an effort for them to say, hey, your 911 network is down? Well, we have the perfect solution for you. It's an Israeli-backed
Yes,
911 network.
that is essentially what is happening, and it's actually been in the works for several years. For several years now.
Israel, which runs the entire United States Congress, can now also run our 911 emergency services in the United States. Makes total sense when you think about it, right? If I fall down, get hurt, call 911, it'll be routed right through Israel. What the hell is happening? While most people have been distracted by President Biden dropping out of the race or how many shooters tried to assassinate President Trump, newsflash, it was at least 2 people we now know, and possibly as many as 3. So they want you to look over there while they execute the next part of their plan over here to keep the deep state in power. President Biden, of course, is just a puppet for the deep state. Now, don't get me wrong, those are incredibly important stories. Trump's assassination, Biden being replaced. But what is coming is by all accounts bigger and will affect all of us. Pay attention to this, guys. What could be so big that it forces us into a lockdown, forces us to use their digital currency, forces us to change our behavior? Well, a massive infrastructure collapse, of course. An infrastructure collapse we can blame on another country. As BlackRock CEO Larry Fink just pointed out, you need to force people in order to change their behavior. You need to use force.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Of course you have to use force. People don't want your lousy digital currency. They don't want to be locked down at home and told what to do. We knew this was coming, of course. The WEF has been warning us for years that the next pandemic wouldn't be a virus, it would be a cyber attack. The WEF detailed this attack in their Cyber Polygon report. And of course, it's shocking that CrowdStrike is a proud member of the WEF. You can't make this stuff up, guys. So the way to keep Biden in power, keep the deep state in power, is to create a massive false flag that harms every one of us, and then we blame it on a foreign adversary. Like, 9/11, right? That's exactly how this works. So let's spin the wheel. Who could be behind all of this? Could it be Russia? Nah, they've tried that one. China? Nah, too obvious. Ah, yes, Iran.
Where we are now is not in a good place. Iran, because the nuclear agreement was thrown out, instead of being at least a year away from having the breakout capacity of producing fissile material for a nuclear weapon, is now probably 1 or 2 weeks away from doing that.
Over the past 24 hours, the White House is pretending to go into DEFCON 2, one step away from war with Iran. Oh, and the shooter that tried to kill Trump had an encrypted overseas account, or multiple encrypted overseas accounts. Dare I say he was an Iranian secret agent? Oh, that's what they're trying to tell us next.
Some other things are coming out, like the shooter had 3 encrypted accounts overseas. At the same time, we're having an Iranian plot. I think this is going to go much broader, much deeper.
Iran is only 1 week away from having a nuclear weapon. The shooter that tried to kill Trump was an Iranian spy? So we better go to war with them right now. If you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you in the corrupt town called Netanyahu. A U.S. war with Iran, of course, is Netanyahu's wet dream. He's been dreaming about it for many, many years. Meanwhile, half of CrowdStrike's servers are located in Ukraine. Ukraine is run by the CIA. Again, I'm sure it's nothing. Remember when Donald Trump told us all that CrowdStrike had the DNC server in Ukraine? The reason they had it in Ukraine was to hide it from the U.S. government?
For instance, I still ask the FBI, where is the server? So the server, they say, is held by a company whose primary ownership individual is from Ukraine. I'd like to see the server.
They gave the server to CrowdStrike, or whatever it's called, which is a company owned by a very wealthy Ukrainian.
Again, I'm sure it's nothing. No, in fact, I'm sure it's something massive coming for this country, and people better be ready for it. Don't be fooled by the lies they are spinning right now. All the media will be on the same page when they try to trick you. They will all run stories almost within a 24-hour time period when they're trying to spin this yarn. They want you to be scared, and they want you to be sheep that they can control. Don't be sheep. Don't let them control you. Period. Don't fall for it.
The ocean just got a whole lot stranger today because scientists have just discovered that something is producing what they call dark oxygen on the sea floor. And to put this discovery in perspective, until this paper was published yesterday, scientists believe that the oxygen we all breathe and rely on to survive could not be produced without sunlight. Yet the depth of ocean where this discovery was made was in complete darkness. And not only that, because it also seems to be produced by non-living, non-biological sources described as lumps of metal on the sea floor. Which is another baffling discovery, because scientists also previously thought that most oxygen was created by living organisms. But it gets crazier. The paper outlines that trillions of these naturally occurring metallic nodules each produce an electrical current close to that of a AA battery. Goddamn, cavemen had batteries and electricity and didn't even know. And as you were probably taught at school, or not, this electrical current can split water, H2O, into hydrogen and oxygen. I mean, just the fact that we can still be making groundbreaking discoveries like this in 2024 is wild enough, but it gets even more interesting because just think about what that could mean for other planets. If we now know that oxygen can be produced by non-living organisms, it changes our perspective on which exoplanets out there could have a oxygen atmosphere, which, as you know, is necessary to sustain life.
The most dangerous animal on this planet. A violent creature filled with hateful thoughts and a lust for blood. Teeth like razors.
Take a picture this way.
Dude,
look at this thing.
Are you kidding me? That thing is so ugly.
Kuhu tuleb? Siin täitsa toas. Kuhu tuleb?
In June 2006, residents of an apartment complex on the outskirts of Kyoto, Japan, reported a series of explosions accompanied by a strong odor resembling vomit. Several partially vacant residential buildings showed clear signs of being affected by an internal bomb explosion. A yellow liquid had stained a large part of the facade due to the blast, emanating from both doors and windows. In other buildings, the same liquid was dripping from the rooftops and broken water pipes on the ground floor. When the police entered the apartments, they realized that they had been unoccupied for many years, and inside, most of the hallways had been vandalized with graffiti. However, they all shared a common theme: the worship of a demon. Several candles were found on the floor, along with seemingly human organic material. This was discovered on the upper floors of 3 buildings.
Hey, if you're still here, please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to other people. Thanks!
There's a movie that will be out soon, and that's the coming of Gog and Magog. Most Muslims, Judaism, and Christianity knows about this. That will come upon or before the day of judgment. where they are staying in an area that is covered with barricade that's iron and copper and has been locked up for years. The days when the barrier will be level up on the earth. These creations will create massive chaos, fire, and killing the entire earth. And no, this is not a hoax, this is real. And if this would be a Hollywood movie, best believe that this is a documentary or a clue for us as a collective. That is maybe the richest of the richest made up bunkers. And they know something that there's big is going to happen. They even made bunkers for rent in America. Do you think the bunkers are for these reasons? To survive the attack? As most of the files have been hidden on the archive of the Vatican. So they create this little by little chaos, which is wars and so on, for us to be ready for what it's coming. The release of Gog and Magog is an end-time prophecy that is believed by the entire Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And these two tribes are pure evil. They will bring nothing but corruption. We always think about zombie apocalypse, right? This is even worse. These creations are clever and you can't get rid of them. They are overpopulated and will just invade the world. Just imagine, we are 7 billion people in this planet. Multiply it by more thousands. That's how much they are. And they will all consume everything. And this is the greatest trial humanity will face. This is the second to the final evil. And that is even before Dajjal. We call it the last battle and the last cycle. How to get rid of them or to end all of them is when Jesus will come back. That will fix peace and justice into this world. And also will beat Dajjal and these creations. And please don't discuss about Anunnakis and stuffs. You won't see those on those end days. So what's your take on this? Assalamu alaikum.
So why would NASA be lying to us and telling us that the moon is just a ball of rock? Well, check this out. So as you can see, if you scaled what is seen on the moon down onto a flat Earth map, you can accurately map flight patterns. You can map the actual distances between cities, and the flight patterns match up what they would match up in real life. So the moon is literally an accurate map of our known world. But what's all that other stuff around it? That's why they're hiding it. There's more land outside of Antarctica, guys. There's more land. We live in an Arctic Circle. We don't live on a globe with Antarctica on the bottom. We live in an Arctic Circle, guys. And it's cyclic. This Arctic Circle that we live in is cyclic. It goes through 12 separate cycles every 2,160 years. And we're now entering the age of Aquarius. So our Arctic Circle is melting and our magnetic pole is changing by 30 degrees. Do you see what I'm saying? Our magnetic pole is shifting and our Arctic Circle is shifting. So of course the ice is going to melt. But that's why they're fear-mongering and pushing climate change. Do you guys see? They're essentially trying to hide the truth from us, that there's more land, that the earth is flat, and that we already have all the necessary tools we need to understand the mechanics of this realm. God gave us the tools we need. We have the sun, we have the moon, we have the celestial bodies. And as of course, guys, this video was just for entertainment purposes only.
They're printing money because they're going to end the dollar. They're going to collapse the dollar through hyperinflation and transition to a digital currency. They're printing the money. They're then sending the money over there. Little Zelensky gets to keep part of it, and he gets to buy some yachts and some big houses and all this shit. The rest of it comes back to political PACs or individual people that are in the government. Those people are taking the money, buying assets that will bridge from this monetary system to the next. Then you sell the new asset on the new currency, and you're rich in the new currency.
Do you have any thoughts about the lady that the Prince of Wales should marry?
Yes. Well, I suppose, you see, it's really difficult because you've got to remember that when you marry, in my position, you're going to marry somebody who perhaps one day is going to become queen. And you've got to choose somebody very carefully, I think. And it's got to be somebody pretty special. Because if you choose somebody who isn't used to it, it can, I think, probably cause them.
Listen to me very carefully. I have told you for months on air they're going to try to kill Trump. And when they try to kill Trump, they're going to go after everybody else that is his top supporters. And they also will try to kill Biden and blame it on a Trump supporter. That's coming next. Make no mistake, the same deep state that's behind Biden, that's trying to make him step down, was behind this today. They're now reporting it was an Antifa shooter who's now been killed. How convenient is that the supposed shooter has been killed? Ladies and gentlemen, our republic is in maximum danger right now. I'm about to go live at Infowars.com/show, band.video, and right here on X. There has been an attempted assassination. The real president of the United States has been shot, and by God's good graces, has survived. The bullet only grazed him over the ear and the side of his head. But ladies and gentlemen, the deep state is desperate. They are in trouble. They're going to try to expand wars. They can do power outages. They can do cyber attacks. We're in such a dangerous position. And I've noticed with all the viral videos out there, it's like, oh, he took a bullet for America. He's going to get reelected now. Ladies and gentlemen, the deep state did this. Make no mistake. And that lets you know they're going for broke. Do you fucking understand what I'm telling you? Take this deadly serious, just like war with Russia. They are going to try to kill Trump again. Now that they didn't kill him once, they are completely desperate. And I'm going to tell you again, Biden won't step down. The deep state will probably kill him or try to kill him in the next few days and blame it on a Trump supporter. And we may see massive terror attacks in America that are blamed on Trump supporters. They've been pre-programming it. They've been preparing. I've been telling you, imminent assassination attempt on Trump every damn day. Because that's what a dying, corrupt establishment does when their back is against the wall. We're living in a historical moment right now.
What was that? Okay, just wait for it. Watching Fox. And something just flew by these military planes. What was that? Watching Fox. And something just flew. Okay, just wait for it. Watching Fox. And something just flew by these military planes. What was that?
breaking UFO news. During the chaos at the recent Trump rally on Saturday, July 13th, 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania, a UFO was caught on camera, streaking through the sky at a very high rate of speed. The object can really only be seen with the video slowed down. Watch closely and you'll notice some sort of metallic craft traveling through the background. Could this have been a non-human intelligence watching over the whole situation? Take a look. Let me know what you think. Do you believe?
Let's talk about one of the creepiest moments in internet history, the Canal 5 Twitter incident. This incident scared the whole Latina community, and if you don't know about it, let me just tell you. On the morning of April 1st, 2020, popular Mexican TV channel Canal 5 would make some terrifying posts on their Twitter that left thousands of users confused. One of the posts included this one that was posted at 2-3 a.m. And it's creepy, coming from a professional TV channel account. Like, let me just show you.
Time for a munch. Crunch, crunch, munch, munch, crunch, crunch, munchy, munchy, crunchy, crunchy.
Aside from that one, there would be several creepy posts. Like, it just kept going and going. And if you get creeped out easily, maybe scroll away or save this for the morning, because I'm about to show you a compilation of what allegedly was posted on their Twitter account. I'm gonna give you like 2 seconds. Okay, here they are.
You like them? Is it good? Yeah.
Now, of course, after this happened, people wondered if it was some kind of April Fool's joke, maybe like a marketing stunt, but I looked it up, and allegedly it was an employee that posted these. On this news article, it says, Canal 5 despide a sujeto que subía extraños videos en la noche. Now, I will say this, like, I get it. Like, don't make creepy posts on this channel that also airs kids' TV shows, but that did gain Canal 5 a lot of attention. Don't you think? Either way, those videos were creepy. They were posted during the pandemic, so literally everybody was on their phones. But what do you guys think about this incident? You think it was cool? You think it was messed up? What do you think? What do you think?
I was told that March 23rd, 1994, that 19 suns pole shifted in our galaxy, and that many are pole shifting all the time. At exactly the same moment that the suns in our galaxy pole shifted, a color and sound frequency started emanating from all the black holes in the known universe. Now, apparently what this sound and color frequency is doing, it is literally creating a holographic density above all others. And on a numerical level, it would be, on our level, it would be considered the 12th. The Andromedans say that there are 11 creational densities in our universe. This is now adding a 12th. And that what it's doing is that it is literally lifting all the dimensions up. 11 is going to 12, 10 to 11, etc. Now they say that all indications are that by December 3rd, in our linear time of the year 2013, third density as we know it will cease to exist. It is now presently imploding on itself as it is being raised to a higher vibration. And that those of us who stick around and go for the ride will be moving through fourth into fifth density. Just like that. And that we will start to see very clear indications of this around the year 2007. Now, Apparently, the Andromedan Council, which is a group of 139 planetary systems, and I can't tell you exactly how many races because I don't know, has made a decision and has told all of the extraterrestrial influences in our solar system, both benevolent and non-benevolent, and those who are in the middle, to be out of this solar system no later than August 12th, 2003. I don't know how they're going to back it up, but apparently they've decided they're going to. So they want them all out of here. Now, if this happens, and they do leave, you're going to see incredible things. If they do not, I have been told to tell you this, but there's a very high probability that we will wake up one morning or go outside one night and the moon will not be there. It will be towed towards Jupiter. And they will deal with the energies that are there out there. Because if they have to go to battle and the moon gets destroyed, it will destroy most of the Earth because, you know, pieces of it will come here. Plus, it has an energy source inside of itself. Okay, it's a spacecraft. So this is another possibility, and you know, I talked about the tides. I mentioned the tides and more, and they said, "Hey, that's no big deal. We can just get you another one." Apparently, it's no big deal. You know, planetary science is no big deal when you're at that level of technology. Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that the moon has moved closer to Earth. What do they say about that? About 2 years ago?
Apparently, it's moving closer all the time. The Andromedans say that it's moving 9 inches closer to us, and we're not being told about anything about it. They also have said that Mars is also moving closer to us as well. That it's moving closer? I don't know what it is. Unless it's to disrupt the gravity pull will create earthquakes.
What's 9 inches and 2,000 miles?
I don't know, sir. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
Where you get to where people in the back cannot hear these questions.
I'm sorry. I'll repeat the questions when they're said. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. The question is if the satellites or the moons are artificially created, why do they make the surfaces so rough? Obviously to hide what they are. Other than that, I don't know. Ma'am in the back.
Are the benevolent people more powerful or more of them? I mean, do we really have a chance?
Okay. The question is if there's really a battle between good and evil, are the benevolents more powerful? Do they have war? And do we really have a chance? Oh, gosh. I've been told that if
Oh, this is a question. Why does he have a watch on? Isn't that a watch?
How dare you? Impossible. Stop.
What is that?
It's jewelry.
It looks like a watch. I mean, maybe it's jewelry, but it's on his wrist, and it's a circle, and it's with a band.
Right.
I mean, what is that?
Mini Antikythera mechanism.
It looks like my watch.
It does.
It does.
That's crazy.
But, of course, the explanation is like, of course not. Just jewelry. But it does look like it, doesn't it?
Well, it just makes sense that if they developed weapons, and they developed clothing, and they developed shelters, if they had the sophistication to be able to construct these buildings, why wouldn't they be able to construct a watch?
Right.
An automatic watch.
Holiday Looking for Interesting Videos department has merged with 2 new videos we thought we'd show you at the end of the week that tell us a lot about a lot. One of them is video of Australia's new ambassador for gender equality. She just introduced herself to the world. She's American, by the way. She doesn't say that. She's got a fake accent. But as you watch this, just take a look at her and ask yourself, again, we're not religious authorities, but is there demonic possession playing a role in this? Watch.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Copus Campbell, Australia's new ambassador for gender equality. I'm incredibly honoured to take on this role as the lead international advocate for Australia's commitment to gender equality and the human rights of women and girls and persons of diverse gender identities.
If that lady showed up at your house at night, I mean, we're not being mean, just being honest. Like, people's hearts come through their faces sometimes. That's
When you've taken as many mushrooms as I have, you realise there's nobody there. Of course there's nobody there. It's all made up, isn't there? Like this guy here, for example, nobody there. All these people who think they're somebodies. Yeah? Like these two here, you probably think you're somebodies, don't you? Yeah? But you're not, you're nobodies. You're nobodies. Because there isn't anybody there. Certainly not in your case, anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I've taken 9 grams of psilocybin mushrooms. And I've discovered that there's nobody there. Doing psychedelic experiment. I'm doing some research in the upper limits into the question that is debated, hotly debated question in the world of academics and psychedelics. And there is a big argument as to whether it's possible to overdose on magic mushrooms. I'm part of the school that thinks that it isn't, and I'm trying to see how far I can push it. I'm on 9 grams today, and having to deal with people like this guy over here. It's not easy, is it? What is he doing here? What on earth are you doing here, sir? Not doing anything at all. There was no one there? There isn't anybody there as well, is there? Is there anybody where you are? Is there anybody there? No? Correct.
Alright, that's it for today's session. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks again for showing up, everyone, and I will see you around.